Don't ignore that Canadian 5-cent nickel in your change. Some old and modern Canadian nickels are sought after because of rare dates, mint errors, and unusual varieties that many people overlook. Don't clean or wash them. Their original condition can matter to collectors. Check every Canadian nickel before you spend it. It could be a hidden treasure worth much more than 5 cents. The 1952 to 2002 P Canadian 5-cent nickel is one of those coins that many people see as ordinary pocket change, but collectors know there is more behind it than just 5 cents. This coin was released in 2002 during the Golden Jubilee year of Queen Elizabeth II. The dates, 1952 to 2002, mark 50 years of her reign, which makes this nickel different from a regular Canadian 5-cent coin. On one side, you see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse keeps Canada's familiar beaver design, one of the most recognized images in Canadian coinage. At first glance, it looks simple. A small nickel. A beaver. A royal anniversary date. But the value of this coin depends heavily on condition, strike quality, minting errors, and whether the coin has something unusual that separates it from the millions of normal pieces. A regular 1952 to 2002 P Canadian 5-cent coin is not automatically worth thousands of dollars. In fact, most circulated examples are still very common. The Royal Canadian Mint produced a large number of these coins, with a mintage of about 135,960,000 pieces. That means if you find one in average condition, with scratches, dull surfaces, or normal wear, it may only be worth a small collector premium. But rare coins do not become valuable because they are old or because they have an anniversary date. They become valuable when something makes them different. This nickel has a standard weight of about 3.95 grams and a diameter of about 21.2 millimeters. Its composition is nickel-plated steel, with a steel core and thin layers of plating. That is important because weight, metal, and magnetic reaction can help reveal whether a coin is normal or possibly struck on the wrong planchet. A normal coin should match the correct weight and size. If your coin is noticeably lighter, heavier, smaller, larger, or has a strange color, that is when you should stop and inspect it more carefully. But you must be careful. Damage, corrosion, dirt, or post-mint alteration can also make a coin look unusual. A real mint error must come from the production process, not from damage after the coin entered circulation. One error collectors look for is a wrong planchet error. This happens when a coin is struck on a blank meant for another denomination or another type of coin. If a 5-cent design was accidentally struck on the wrong metal blank, the result could have the wrong weight, wrong color, or incomplete design near the edge. These kinds of errors can be very valuable because they are difficult to produce accidentally and even harder to escape the mint unnoticed. Another possible error is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank is not perfectly centered between the dies during striking. Part of the design may be missing, and a blank crescent-shaped area may appear on one side of the coin. The stronger the off-center strike, and the clearer the date and design remain, the more interesting the coin becomes to collectors. A broad strike can also create attention. In a normal strike, a collar holds the coin in shape and helps create the correct diameter. If that collar fails, the metal can spread outward, making the coin look wider and flatter than normal. A genuine broad strike should not look like simple damage. It should show signs that the coin expanded during the strike itself. There may also be clipped planchet errors, where part of the blank was missing before the coin was struck. A true clip usually has a curved missing section and special metal flow clues that help experts confirm it happened before minting. A coin broken or cut after leaving the mint is not the same thing. Die cracks, die chips, and plating errors can also appear on Canadian nickels. Small raised lines, extra metal near letters, missing plating, bubbles, peeling, or unusual surface texture can make a coin more interesting. Some minor errors may only bring a small premium, but stronger, cleaner, more dramatic errors can attract serious attention. This is where the value range of $24,240 to $80,500 must be understood correctly. That range would not apply to a normal 1952 to 2002 P nickel pulled from circulation. It would only make sense for an extraordinary example, a rare mint error, a wrong planchet, a major strike mistake, or an exceptional certified coin with strong collector demand. Certification matters a lot. A coin graded by a trusted professional service gives buyers confidence that the error is genuine and that the condition has been properly evaluated. Without certification, even a strange-looking coin can be hard to sell for a serious amount. So if you find a 1952 to 2002 P Canadian 5-cent nickel, do not ignore it. Check the portrait, the beaver, the date, the letter P, the edge, the color, and the surface. Weigh it on a digital scale. Compare it with another normal Canadian nickel. Look for missing design, off-center details, unusual metal, cracks, chips, or plating problems. And most importantly, never clean it. Do not polish it, scratch it, or try to make it shine. Cleaning can destroy the original surface and reduce collector interest. This coin may look like a small anniversary nickel, but in the right condition, with the right error, it could tell a much bigger story. Keep this one aside, because the next coin brings a different kind of surprise that collectors often miss until they look closely. This 1978 Canadian nickel looks quiet, simple, and easy to ignore, but one wrong strike, one wrong blank, or one unusual surface could change its story completely. The 1978 Canadian 5-cent nickel is not the kind of coin most people stop to examine. It does not have a flashy commemorative design, it does not show a rare animal scene, and it does not announce itself as something special. On the obverse, you see Queen Elizabeth II, and on the reverse, Canada's classic beaver design, sitting on a rock above the word Canada and the denomination 5 cents. But that ordinary appearance is exactly why this coin deserves attention. Many valuable coins are not discovered because they look rare at first glance. They are discovered because someone checks the small details that everyone else ignores. A normal 1978 Canadian 5-cent coin was made for circulation, and most examples are still common. This coin belongs to the period when Canadian nickels were struck in nearly pure nickel. It has a standard weight of about 4.54 grams and a diameter of about 21.21 millimeters. Those numbers matter, because weight and size are often the first clues that separate a regular coin from a possible mint error. If your 1978 nickel weighs close to 4.54 grams, has the correct diameter, and shows normal wear, then it is probably just a common circulation coin. Even in nice condition, most normal pieces are not worth life-changing money. The real interest begins when the coin shows something that should not be there, a major strike error, a wrong planchet, unusual metal, missing design, or a dramatic minting mistake. One of the first things to check is the strike. On a normal coin, the beaver, the lettering, the date, and the portrait should be properly centered. But if the coin was struck off-center, part of the design may be shifted toward one side. You might see a blank crescent-shaped area where the design never reached the metal. A small off-center strike can be interesting, but a strong off-center error with the date still visible can attract much more attention from collectors. Another error to watch for is a broad strike. During normal production, the blank coin sits inside a collar that controls the final size and shape. If that collar fails or does not hold the planchet correctly, the metal can spread outward when struck. A broad-struck nickel may look wider than normal, with a flatter or unusual edge. This is not the same as a coin that was smashed after circulation. A true broad strike has to show that the expansion happened during the minting process. Clipped planchet errors are also possible. This happens when the blank metal disc was incomplete before the coin was struck. A genuine clipped planchet may show a curved missing section, and the design can still flow naturally around the missing area. But be careful, many damaged coins are mistaken for clipped planchets. If a coin was cut, broken, or damaged after leaving the mint, it is not a valuable mint error. The most exciting possibility is a wrong planchet error. This means the 1978 5-cent design was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another coin. In that case, the coin may have the wrong weight, wrong size, wrong color, or parts of the design may look squeezed or missing near the edge. Wrong planchet errors are rare because they represent a serious mistake in the minting process, and most are caught before reaching the public. You should also inspect the surface for die cracks, die chips, and unusual raised metal. A die crack can appear as a raised line across part of the design. A die chip may look like an extra lump of metal near the letters, the beaver, or the queen's portrait. Small die chips may not be worth a huge amount, but larger and more visible errors can be more collectible, especially if the coin is in strong condition. Now, the value range of $30,450 to $92,550 must be understood carefully. This kind of value does not belong to a normal 1978 Canadian nickel pulled from a jar or pocket. It would only make sense for an exceptional coin, a major mint error, a wrong planchet, a dramatic strike mistake, or a certified high-grade piece with strong demand behind it. A common worn example is still common. The money appears only when rarity, condition, and authentication come together. Condition is a major part of the story. A coin with sharp details, clean surfaces, original luster, and minimal marks will always be more desirable than one with scratches, stains, or heavy wear. But even a beautiful coin needs something special if it is going to reach extreme values. Collectors want proof. That is why professional grading and authentication matter so much. A strange-looking coin without certification may only create curiosity, but a confirmed error can create real bidding interest. So if you have a 1978 Canadian 5-cent nickel, do not throw it back into a coin jar too quickly. Check the beaver, the date, the lettering, the rim, the portrait, and the edge. Weigh it carefully. Compare it with another Canadian nickel from the same era. Look for off-center details, missing metal, unusual spreading, raised cracks, or signs that it may have been struck on the wrong blank. And do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or try to improve the shine. Original surfaces matter, and one bad cleaning can destroy the collector value before the coin is ever examined. This small nickel may look ordinary, but under the right conditions, it can become a completely different discovery. Keep your eyes open, because the next coin brings another hidden detail where one small difference can separate pocket change from a serious collector prize. The 2010 Canadian 5-cent nickel is the type of coin many people overlook because it does not feel old enough to be rare. It may still appear in pocket change, coin jars, drawers, and old rolls. But modern coins can be dangerous to ignore, because some of the most interesting pieces are not valuable because of age. They become valuable because of condition, metal, strike quality, and minting errors that were never supposed to leave the mint. On the reverse of this coin, you see Canada's classic beaver design. The beaver sits on a rock, with the denomination 5 cents and the word Canada around it. This design has been familiar to Canadians for generations, and that familiarity is exactly why many people do not inspect it closely. On the obverse, you see Queen Elizabeth II, with the date 2010. A normal 2010 Canadian 5-cent coin is not automatically worth thousands of dollars. Most examples are common circulation coins. If your coin has normal scratches, dull surfaces, rim wear, or signs of everyday use, it will usually only carry a small value. The real value begins when the coin has something unusual that can be connected to the minting process. A standard 2010 Canadian 5-cent coin should weigh about 3.95 grams and measure about 21.2 millimeters in diameter. It is made from nickel-plated steel, which means the inside is steel and the outside has a nickel coating. This is important because the coin should react to a magnet. If you find one that looks, weighs, or reacts differently from a normal example, that is when the inspection becomes more serious. Weight is one of the first things to check. A coin that is too light, too heavy, too small, too large, or has a strange color may be showing a sign of a planchet problem. But not every strange coin is rare. Dirt, heat damage, chemicals, corrosion, scratches, or someone altering the coin after circulation can all create confusion. A valuable error must come from the mint, not from damage after the coin was already spent. One of the most important errors to watch for is a wrong planchet error. This happens when the design of the 2010 5-cent coin is struck on a blank meant for another denomination or another type of coin. If that happened, the coin might have the wrong weight, a different size, a different metal color, or missing parts of the design near the edge. Wrong planchet errors are exciting because they are not supposed to happen in normal production, and most are caught before they ever reach the public. Another error that can make this coin interesting is an off-center strike. In a normal strike, the blank sits properly between the dies, and the design lands in the center. But if the blank is not aligned correctly, part of the design can shift to one side. You may see a blank area on the coin, while the beaver, lettering, or portrait appears pushed away from the center. A small off-center strike may bring modest interest, but a strong off-center error with the date still visible can become much more desirable. A broad strike is another possibility. During production, a collar holds the coin in place and controls the final shape. If that collar fails, the metal can spread outward when the coin is struck. A true broad-struck 2010 nickel may appear wider, flatter, or have an unusual edge. This should not be confused with a coin that was crushed or flattened after leaving the mint. Collectors look for evidence that the spreading happened during the strike itself. Clipped planchet errors can also appear. This means part of the blank was missing before the design was struck onto the coin. A genuine clip often has a curved missing section and metal flow signs that help experts confirm it happened before minting. If a coin was cut, broken, or damaged later, it does not have the same collector value. You should also inspect the coin for die cracks, die chips, and plating problems. A die crack may appear as a raised line across the design. A die chip may look like an extra lump of metal near the beaver, the letters, the date, or the queen's portrait. Since this coin is nickel-plated steel, plating issues may also appear as peeling, bubbling, missing coating, or unusual surface texture. Minor flaws may only bring small premiums, but strong, visible, and dramatic errors can attract more attention. The value range of $16,670 to $72,850 must be understood carefully. This does not apply to a normal 2010 Canadian nickel from circulation. A value in that range would only make sense for an extraordinary coin, a major certified mint error, a wrong planchet, a dramatic strike mistake, or an exceptional example with serious collector demand. Without authentication, a strange-looking coin is only a possibility, not proof. Condition also matters. A clean, sharp, uncirculated coin with original luster will always be more attractive than one with scratches, stains, or heavy wear. But never try to improve the coin yourself. Do not clean it, polish it, scrape it, or rub the surface. Cleaning can destroy the original finish and reduce the value before an expert ever sees it. So check your 2010 Canadian 5-cent nickels carefully. Look at the beaver, the date, the portrait, the rim, the edge, the color, and the surface. Weigh the coin, test its magnetic response, and compare it with a normal example. The smallest difference may be the first clue. And if you find something unusual, keep it safe. Because sometimes the coin that looks the newest, simplest, and easiest to ignore is the one hiding the mistake everyone else missed. Before you spend any old or modern nickel, take one closer look. Your next discovery could be sitting in plain sight.